Welcome, everybody. My name is Charles Cook. It's great to be back with you. I'm managing partner at Cook Baxter Immigration. And this is our update for this evening on the DV2020 lottery. Lot happened today. It was really kind of crazy, actually. Woke up this morning to my phone buzzing like crazy with DMs. By the way, no need to DM me. I'll put everything out on the internet. Then lots of messages on Facebook. You don't need to messenger me either. Lots of comments on our Facebook page, lots of comments on our prior Facebook Live, which we're always happy to answer. I mean, we're as everybody knows, we're one of the Plaintiffs Council. We were the Pro Bono DV Lottery Council for about 196 plaintiffs. But as I've told everybody from the beginning, being a plaintiff did not mean that only you were going to get a visa. And I think the State Department made clear today that the judge's order applies to everybody, whether you're a plaintiff or not. The question is, are you going to get a visa if you're not a plaintiff? And that just depends on really the country processing of the cases. And so what I wanted to do was kind of talk about that a little bit. This morning, in the initial announcement from the Department of State, and I don't know what time that appeared on their website. I mean, it was early, before I woke up. It was very general. It was a very general statement. I mean, hey, everybody get going. And yet they clearly had not notified the consulates. They clearly had not trained consular officers. They clearly had not notified the KCC, despite having literally all weekend to do it. And yesterday, Tuesday. I mean, they had Tuesday to do it too. I mean, and I'm not going to fault them for being on the weekend. I'm sure many of them were out of town. I'm not going to fault them on that. But they should have worked on Tuesday. And really, this memo probably could have been written in an hour. I get that. But they then realized that initial, this is my take on this, by the way, that their initial announcement was too vague. And so they came out this afternoon with the new announcement. And I want to walk through this a little bit because I'm getting lots and lots and lots of questions about this. Now, keep in mind, I'm not anybody's lawyer at the consulate, okay? I am the plaintiff's lawyer for the filing of the litigation. And it's not over yet, so we're still representing them in the litigation. But at the end of the day, unless you have your own individual lawyer, it's up to you to be the person that's pushing the process to get you interviewed and your visa issued. So let me talk a little bit about that. I'm going to first go through the update, and I'm going to answer some questions because there are questions about it. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do about those questions as plaintiffs' counsel, and then I'm going to give you some suggestions on how to be the squeaky wheel, as I wrote on Twitter a little while ago. All right, so in the first paragraph, they clearly indicate that the judge ordered that they adjudicate all DV selectees, okay? The first thing you have to realize is there are only 55,000 visas. They notified about 83,000 people. That means 40% of you are not getting these visas. I mean, understand the math here, okay? Not everybody that wants it's going to get a visa. It's that way every single year. And hopefully you all realize that they select way more people than can qualify because there is about a 35 to 40% disqualification rate, whether it's for administrative processing or it's for an error you made on your form, or I know some people even lie. All right, so they really try to be careful about issuing these visas. So that's the first thing you've got to realize. Not everybody's going to get a visa. We can't promise everybody's going to get a visa. We're just doing our best to make sure that the door is open so that you can do that. They next say the visas will be processed at all the embassies and consulates where local conditions and post resources allow. Local conditions are, is the country closed? Post resources, do they have their employees in place to do these? Okay. Next. In accordance with the INA, what they're saying is you must be documentarily qualified, which happens at the KCC. So if your case is still at the KCC, yes, you have a reduced chance of getting the visa issued. Doesn't mean you don't have any chance, but it means you should be reaching out. Tip one, you should be reaching out to the KCC by email and saying, here's my case number, here's my stuff. If you have if you think you were documentarily qualified, you're asking them to verify that you're documentarily qualified, and you're begging them to send the case to your consulate. Tip 2, if your consulate is closed for DV processing or any processing, you need to give the people at the KCC 3 other consulates that you have the ability to get to process your visa. All right, there's a resource issue. Some countries don't have any visas to issue, or they have very few visas to issue. Others have thousands to issue. So if you can go to a third country, that's going to help get your visa issued. All right. So if you're at the KCC, second, they require you to pay all fees. Of course, you've all done that. That you have your medical exam. This is another thing. If you haven't had your medical done, you better call right now and have your medical done. There is an issue we're going to get to in a second about the medical, but for those who haven't done their medical, you got to do it. Now, some of you require an appointment to get it. I get that. That means you got to get documentarily qualified first. That means you then have to get the consulate to email you. So in that case, you email both the consulate that you're going to and the KCC so that you can try to get them talking to each other. I will tell you that unless you're doing this, it's not magically going to happen. It's not magically going to happen. You have to be the person that pushes this, okay? Next, they say they can issue the visas through the end of the fiscal year. Many of you have direct messaged me and emailed me and even wanted to call me. Why can't you get the DV lottery extended? One, I'm not the judge, but please understand, our case asked the judge to extend the deadline. In my oral argument, I gave the judge the legal reasons why he could extend the deadline. And in his opinion, he made it clear that he understands that there's case law that supports him in extending the deadline. But nobody can promise that. So you have to act as if there is a deadline on September 30th. If there's no deadline, if the judge says, no, I'm going to extend it for a month or 3 months, that's great. That's great. But you still have to act as if it's not going to happen. All right. We have good reasons why it should. I feel confident that we can prevail on those reasons, but nobody can promise you that. So stop asking. We know we're working on it. Now, the next thing is really important. Applicants are reminded that immigrant visas generally expire on the same date as the medical exam, either 3 or 6 months, depending on the country that you're in. They make a point that if they issue a visa on September 30th to somebody with a 3-month visa, they're not going to be able to enter the country. We understand that. Okay, we're going to be asking the judge about that. We're going to ask the judge for the consulate to waive that and allow them to reissue the visa, but I cannot promise that. All right, but just know we are aware of the issue. The lawyers have all talked about this issue, and we will be fighting on that issue for you. As they say, you may want to get a new medical exam. All right, well, especially for those of you with 6-month medical exams, please go get one. Please go get one. For the 3-month medicals, you might as well go get one if you can. And if you need an appointment from the consulate to do that, then email the consulate and say, give me an appointment so I can update my medical. All right, really, really important. And again, we're going to try to work with state to make this a little bit easier process. This is the first day. There's still technically, 21 days, 3 weeks. Okay, 3 weeks is an eternity. They can do a lot of cases in 3 weeks. All right, so know that we're working on that particular issue. Now, the next thing they talk about, and this is new this afternoon, is they are going to follow a prioritization plan for the applicants consistent with the court order. They are first, we were working on the plaintiffs, okay? There are about 900 plaintiffs and change between the 3 lawsuits. We have about 190 or so. Gomez had 6, but some of our visas were visa reissuances. And then there was the Feng Zhang and the Muhammad suit. They've got a lot, all right? They're working on their stuff. We're working on our place. We have reached out to our plaintiffs. We have emailed our plaintiffs. We're having them gather information. We'll be having a call with our plaintiffs to gather their information to make sure that everybody's getting processed. So that's true. But they can issue far more than 900 visas between now and the end of the month. That's a bad day at the consulates, 900 visas. I believe they can issue thousands and thousands of visas for the end of the year, end of the fiscal year. 2, people who already been interviewed and seek reissuance to overcome a prior refusal, okay? The prior refusals are they denied you because they ended the program. You should be reaching out to the consulate for visa reissuance or saying, hey, you interviewed me, you denied me because of COVID and the proclamation, please issue my visa. There are people who were interviewed. That's on you. You need to be contacting them, okay? Please do that. Get their email and contact them. If you're one of our plaintiffs and they're not responding to you, let us know. But I believe they're going to go out of their way to help the plaintiffs. 3, it's people that were scheduled interviews that were canceled. All right, you need to contact the consulate. You need to call them and say, hey, you scheduled me. When are you going to reschedule me? And if they write back, we don't have anything, and this is true for anybody. If you get an email back tomorrow, not today, tomorrow, that says, we can't help you, don't we know what you're talking about? I'm going to ask you to DM me that on Twitter at CKUCK. I want you to DM me that on Twitter. Here's my Twitter account. DM me the screenshot of them tomorrow. Make sure I can see the date of that so I can go to the judge about that. All right. Every consulate in the world should be trained. The KCC should be trained. I need to know that so we can go back and say, government, you need to fix this problem at this consulate. All right. So that's kind of your homework for that part of it. Now, for those at the KCC, basically, you got to be pushing it. You got to be confident. And don't tell me by DM, they don't respond to me. Look, if it was me, and I wanted to desperately come to the United States, every hour I would send them an email. Say, I haven't heard back from you yet. If they respond back to me and say, oh, we don't know what's going on in the case, I would email them again. I would not stop emailing them. I would be the squeaky wheel. There's a saying in the United States, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Be the squeaky wheel. Be the person that's constantly on them. The KCC has lots of employees. They can put all their resources on this for the next 3 weeks because this is their job. Okay? They only do diversity cases. They can suspend processing of 2021 for a couple of weeks and do this because they're not issuing 2021 visas anyway. All right. So, and for people that are emailing me about 2021, please stop. We're not going to touch 2021 until 2020 is dealt with. All right. There is time. And please understand this. If Trump wins re-election, nobody's coming. Hopefully you all realize that. He will extend the proclamation unless the proclamation gets overturned by Judge White. And there's a new case being argued tomorrow before Judge White in California called the NAM litigation, the National Manufacturing Litigation. If they can convince Judge White to take down the proclamations, then you're golden, all right? But if he doesn't and Trump is reelected, he is going to extend it. He wants to end the lottery, and he seems to have found a way. So just understand that. We'll worry about the DV2021 people later, all right? Now, next, they said this, and this goes to the Schengen folks. Applicants may be issued an immigrant visa under this order, but the president can extend it. So just understand. And by the way, he will be president still, whether he wins or not on December 31, unless, of course, he resigns after today's announcements about all the lying he's been doing about COVID and killing people in the United States. He could still extend it until January 20th. But I would imagine at that point, if Biden is elected, he will end it immediately. Therefore, unless a DV visa recipient also meets an exception to the proclamation, the DV holder is unable to travel the country. So that means if you do qualify for a national interest exception, you should be applying for that too. Lawyers help people apply for those. So reach out to a lawyer who can help you with that if you get your DV issued, because then you could ask for a national interest exception and you can come now. Now, the next thing they say is this. The 5 regional COVID proclamations that suspend entry into the U.S. from China, no Chinese are in this, Iran, there are plenty of Iranians, the Schengen area, basically Europe, the UK, Ireland, or Brazil within 14 days are still in effect and not subject to the court's order. Okay, that's technically true. Technically, all right? So then they say, thus, while the DV applicants subject to a regional COVID ban may be interviewed and processed, if you've been physically present for 14 days, they will not be issued an immigrant visa. That is legally wrong. That is legally wrong. As I said earlier, your entry is prohibited until you've been out of the country for 14 days. Visa issuance is not banned. We won that issue in this case, darn it. And so we will be bringing that up unless we can, to the judge, unless we can convince, and we're dealing it with the government lawyers. Give it a day. I think we can get them to fix that so Schengen folks can process without having to leave the country. Because you have to leave, if you have to leave Schengen, you have to leave by next Wednesday to be interviewed in some third country somewhere, which you haven't even identified yet, to get the visa by September 30th. And that, I don't think the judge is going to be happy about that. So just understand, we're working on the Schengen issue. Doesn't affect a lot of people, but if it affects you, you don't care if it affects a lot of people. We get it. We understand it. We're working on it. Next. Said DV applicants whose visa expired before December 30, 2020 is currently due to expire will be unable to immigrate on that visa unless they exempt from the proclamation because they cannot issue a new visa after September 30th. Now, this is technically true according to their internal regulation, but it is not true according to the law. There's nothing that says they can't issue that visa, reissue the visa after September 30th in the law. We are aware of it as the lawyers. We're going to argue for that. So don't bring it up. I get it. We know about that issue. All right. All right. DV applicants are reminded that if they were in the United States or held an IV, if you held the visa in your hand on April 20th, when it went into effect, you're not barred. So if you're getting a visa reissuance, you can just come. You can just come. You're not barred. So if you're getting a visa reissuance, you can come. And they said this, DV applicants can get their visas reissued. Again, you've got to be calling the consulate. Now, DV2020, last paragraph, previously scheduled for an interview at a U.S. embassy should reach out directly to the embassy, as I've been saying for the last couple of days. I even said this on Friday night. Post is unable to process due to local conditions. An applicant may request to transfer another post. Give them 3 posts, which means 3 different countries that you can go to get it. Now, I know there's countries like Cuba where they won't let you leave. I don't have a solution. I mean, get on a boat and leave? I don't know. Guyana says they'll process you if you can get there. All right? I don't have any other answers for people who can't leave their country. You can request the transfer directly at the post. They're not going to accommodate everybody, but we're going to do our best to make sure that they do. DV applicants who have responded to the request for documents to the KC have been notified their cases are documentarily qualified. Waiting a visa will be scheduled according to their rank order and the post scheduling capacity. I have not seen that as accurate. I have seen people with high numbers documentarily qualified before people with low numbers. Understand now, everybody's eligible. It's a free-for-all. 83,000 people, 55,000 visas. Understand, you got to do everything you can to get documentarily qualified. And then finally, they say basically, we're going to be unable to accommodate all DV applicants. All right, they're giving up. We are not giving up. The lawyers are not giving up on you. So just know we're going to keep fighting for you. All right, so that's kind of my review with your tips about what you should be doing today. I've now got 54 comments here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through it. Hildy, somebody said in Spanish, Hildy, ya hice uno en español hace 2 horas y tú puedes ir ahí en mi Facebook Live y mirarlo y allí expliqué todo, all right? So I already answered all the questions in Spanish. So I'm going to answer them. If your question is simply asking something that I already answered, I'm just going to say, see the video. You can rewind it and see the video. No need to keep listening to me ramble on in my excited tone. Plus, I have another call for all our K1 clients who we're suing Trump over shortly. Daniel Lugosi, is it an option for our visas reissued in Schengen to travel non-Schengen footage to send our vehicle? Answered that question, yes. Victoria, I love Victoria. My wife thinks I'm an awesome lawyer, so I got that going for me. Dragan, valid DV, April 20 expired in May. Listed update. Yeah, you can travel immediately. Get the visa and come. And this time, if you get the visa, get your butt on a freaking airplane and get over here if you're eligible to travel, all right? Again, you can leave. You can come, stay for a day. I don't care. Then go back. All you have to do is enter the country. You don't have to resettle. You can go get the stamp. That's your green card. And then you can come back in 3 months with all your stuff. Okay. Ahmad, I called KCC. I told them I'm a plaintiff, Curtis Muhammad, and they told me only your lawyer get this updated. Is that correct? I don't see why that's correct. That doesn't make any sense, but you'll have to talk to Curtis about that. Thank you. Ashraf, we are winners. Sudan. Yeah, Sudan's a problem. Sudan's a problem. They can still issue the visa, okay? And then you got to pray Trump loses. I mean, you got to pray Americans aren't stupid twice. Now, Trump's doing everything possible to lose. I just don't think, really, there's a lot of people that are going to vote for him still. Adama, I love Adama. Simon, you said that the order applies to all 2020 order, but today's plaintiffs have prior to be processed. Yes, that's true, Simon. And again, I did my best in getting word out to everybody to join the lawsuit. We did our best. I'm sorry. Sometimes the plaintiffs in this lawsuit, that's happened sometimes, always assured by KC the process will be case. Isn't that against his statement and also by the order given? Yes, it is. Life's not fair. I don't know what else to tell you. But keep calling. Closed due to weather. It's in Kentucky. Maybe they had a tornado or something. I don't know. Call back tomorrow. They'll be open. It's not like there's fires going on. They're not in California. Sam Bridges, I called the KCS. My KCS said they don't receive my documents because I never get a schedule. I can't get a visa. I send all the required documents. I have email. Sam, you call back and ask to speak to a supervisor. If you don't get the answer you want from the person answering the phone, you ask to speak to a supervisor. You'll tell them you'll hold as long as it takes. Speak to the manager if you need to. This is your life, okay? Don't give up. Be the squeaky wheel. Not time from Georgia. I've written to many times. Not everybody else is getting an answer. Nata, you need to keep calling or emailing. Going to appeal the TRO. There's nothing to appeal, Tal. This case isn't final. So we don't appeal the case until it's final. Let's try to get everybody in first. If at the end of the day we don't get all 55,000 visas, damn yes, we're going to appeal. From Iraq, what about a higher case number? We talked about that already. KCC didn't respond again. Of course, they have 40,000 people emailing them. All right. Be the squeaky wheel. Stop with the F2As. Call me in 2 weeks. Okay. Iram, call me in October and we'll deal with that then. That was not my case then. We'll talk about it. Let's see. Thank you, Mehdi. I don't want to be a hero. I just want to be the guy that helps is all. You get to pay it forward. Docs in January, then, do it. Forget about us. They want to visit our family. Oh, yeah, Iram, please stop with the 2A. We'll deal with that. As spouse visas earlier, again, spouse visas, this is not that lawsuit. All right, Airman called the KC. They didn't pick up. So said we are closed. Well, call again. They're supposed to be open until 8 o'clock at night. If there was a tornado, they probably went back to work. They're open at 7 in the morning Eastern time or 6 in the morning. You just call, man. Don't tell me they didn't answer. You call. All right. They're not going to block you, Nata. Trust me. If they block you, then message me with the block. Okay. Judge said at the gate. Yes, I did tell the judge. I did say that. I don't know if he got that message, but hopefully he does this next time. Needs to be reissued. I'm based in Schengen country. July constant they can't be reissued as travel ban. So well, Kian, what you might want to do then is ask you don't have to be in person to reissue the visa. So, one, say, look, I know I don't have to be in person to reissue the visa, issue the darn visa, and say, if you don't reissue it, which country will reissue it, and give them a couple choices, Slovakia or something. I don't have Schengen countries memorized. I'm sorry. I am a gringo, as they say. Good. Thanks, Elena. Become the squeaky wheel. Again, not enough. Thank you. Let's go here. Room. I've already answered all of Room's questions. Room keeps emailing me. Ali, thank you for everything you're doing. Again, if you have administrative processing, you become the squeaky wheel. What is the administrative processing? If you're from Iran, I think a lot of Iranians are going to get screwed by this because of administrative processing. My only solution to administrative processing is a lawsuit. Lawsuits always work, but honestly, there's not enough time. Unless the judge extends it, then we'll file a lawsuit. All right. So here I speak on daily basis immigration because people. I ask them to keep helping. They say we heard it won't work. It's too late. Only doesn't pass the interview. No, you know what? Stop being a crybaby. Stop the baby. You know, don't give up. If you give up, okay, you don't really want to come. I mean, if you're motivated enough, like 11 million people from Latin America to walk across a desert ready to die to come here, then you'll keep calling and you won't give up. If you're not motivated, you'll give up. I mean, that's entirely up to you. Honestly, don't give up. Trust me, it's worth it. Let's see. Bruno, we don't have, no, reissue the visa. They don't need you in person to reissue the visa. They can do that by mail. They can drop it off. You can pick it up. You don't have to be in person to do that. They may ask you to update your medicals, but honestly, we're going to ask them to waive that, to reissue the medicals as well. But you probably want to do a new medical just to be sure. Yes, contact the KCC and tell them that you want to go to a different consulate. Waiting for instructions. They have instructions now. They've got them. We would move through those. Don't ever give up, guys. Believe in yourself. Thank you. I want to thank everybody for being on tonight. Please share this video. I'm going to have it on YouTube shortly. It'll be on my Facebook page immediately. So you can share it from the Facebook page. We want to get the word out. We want to get as much information in the hands of as many people as can. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you don't want to tell anybody. And Francisco, I already answered your question, so you can do that later. I already answered it. I want you guys to fight. I don't know if I'm going to post tomorrow. We'll see. If I've got info, I'll put it on Twitter that I'll do it. I'll always give you at least an hour's notice about this, and we'll go from there. I want to. This is Senegal. You calling? Yeah, I mean, if you only have 91 people in your country, there's no reason they can't give everybody the visas. All right, you just need to be the guy. Be the guy. Squeaky, 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 squeaky. Be optimistic. Appreciate that very much. Andre, Schengen zone. Okay, again, read what I wrote earlier and get that done. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night. I'll probably update you tomorrow with more information. Follow me on Twitter. You got the Twitter notice. Where's my Twitter? Let's see, Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter here. I put lots of stuff up. Follow me, share it, and we'll get more information out. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening. Go to bed.